Hey everybody, welcome to holiday special number 2 of 3. We are back for some afternoon tea to share with you guys, so welcome. We got some fun lined up for you this time. And tomorrow, I'll promote the tomorrow episode, is going to be epically fun. It's going to be loaded with tea trivia time for a long time. We're going to have like multiple rounds, some new formats, all kinds of crazy fun stuff with tomorrow's tea trivia time.
You'll be the host.
Yeah, today I'll be the host and Jem will be my beautiful co-host, as we always are. Today she is the host. We've got some cool, hey Igor, hey Diversified, welcome to the stream.
Welcome.
We are, we're jazzed. Today we got a different kind of special surprise for you, so we'll save that for later. But as always, it's time to ask, what is in your cup? We told you what's in our cup, but we're going to show you now. Well, it's in the title.
Right.
Right, so we didn't tell you like with our voices yet, but we're about to show you what's in our cup.
We are drinking.
Very
we're
excited.
Going to drink a black tea. Yo. Practice here.
There it
There we
goes.
go.
So we've got Jin Jun Mei about to get masterfully brewed
Right.
by
The
Jen.
Jin Jun Mei.
The Jin Jun Mei, the authentic one made by. You can remember his name better than me.
Mr. Jiang.
Mr. Jiang.
Yeah, whose family and his ancestors were the one who invented the black tea.
Literally the inventors
which our
of black tea.
top grade Lapsang Souchong also come from them.
Yes.
So that's very exciting.
Very cool story about that whole line of tea. So Lapsang Souchong, right, the first black tea ever, from this gentleman's lineage. His families are the inventors, creators, discoverers, however you want to frame that. That is the guy, and he invented Jin Jun Mei, which is a fun story. Can I tell the story? I think I should. Do you guys want to tell the story? I'm going to make them ask. Give me like a thumbs up or a say, hey, stop teasing us, or whatever. If you want to hear the story of, I embellish it a little bit. I wasn't there, maybe obvious, but I wasn't there, but I like to embellish it. So if you want to hear the story, give me a thumbs up, give me a shout out, tell me, hey, tell us the story. I'm just gonna make them tight. I don't know why. I'm in a quirky mood today, guys.
With the quirky glasses and quirky.
So Joseph says, nice shirt. Yes, I've got my Devin Townsend Empath shirt on. And it's an album by a Canadian artist. Support local. Oh, jiggly.
They cannot see the belly though.
Oh, the
I just want to
the belly of the sloth lines right up.
Matches with his
lines
belly.
right up with my belly. So
that's the best
after
part,
a meal, it really pops. But normally I'm very svelte. However, okay, so I'm being forced to tell the story. Thank you. What a jerk I am, right? So anyway, so here's this situation, right? It's black tea, right? What is black tea in China? Black tea is export tea. So Mr. Jiang, did I say it right? He's out back with his other tea producing buddies, right? Smoking, because that's how they do, right? He say, I told you I'd embellish it a little bit. So the grain, the thread of the story is 100% true, but I might add some color, right?
Like that.
Every tea has a really great pinnacle top grade tea. Green tea have many top grade tea. Oolong have some big top grade tea. Wu Yi have big top grade tea. Why doesn't black tea have a great tea? This is a big problem. I'm gonna fix it. So he go away, and his tea producer friends are like, that guy's nuts. Actually, they didn't say that, because he's from the family that invent black tea, so they're like, ooh, something might happen. He goes away and he figures out how to make black tea. So black tea is a rough process. A lot of rolling, which is not put it in balls, but like get the juice out rolling. A lot of rolling, a lot of damage to the leaf to get it to oxidize fully, right? So consequently, there's not much bud. There's some buds in black tea, but there's never been all bud black tea. He figures out how to make black tea with only buds. Not only how to make it, but how to make it perfectly with only buds. Immediately, he go back, guys, I did it.
My cheek hurts.
They try the tea and they're like, OMG, which they don't say in Chinese, but however you translate OMG, this is amazing. And immediately this is a sensation in black tea, and it brings black tea out of the import rut, the import slouch it had been in since it had been invented. They only invent that to make some money, and it's great. Green tea around black tea time. They're like, oh, we got some stuff. Let's make some black tea, sell it to those people, right? So then it gives
just
them.
never very popular in China, where we have been very dominant by green tea till recent decade.
So anyway, that's my little colorful story of the story of Jin Jun Mei and how it was invented. So the sort of thread is right? He was frustrated that there's not a pinnacle tea.
And also black tea was in a lot of trouble in China at that time. Like domestically, they cannot sell. It's really hard to sell. Old times, like imagine like how sampling, right? So usually people send some tea as sampling, but black tea they usually just send boxes, like shipping boxes of samples. Like they just have too much tea, so
right.
The more they can get to merchants like us or stuff to try and to sell, the better chance they could sell more. So that kind of also tells you the kind of a hard situation they used to be in.
Right. So that kind of changed that, and you can.
My voice is so low today.
So low, yeah.
I don't.
I'll go down so it sounds like your voice is really normal. We'll shift the whole thing down an octave, maybe.
No, just kidding. So anyway, so Jin Jun Mei changed all that, and we're gonna very shortly, we're gonna, in a few moments, rediscover why, because it's amazing.
Your reason was got contaminated by me, right?
Yes.
Because I often say we will do that recently. That if I think I know it's wrong, you don't say that, but I often.
It looks like Igor's got a guitar right at this moment, so that's awesome. Hope you're having fun with your guitar. Actually, we've got a huge mess of wires, which we don't usually have in front of us, because I was just getting ready to do some music for this video I think we mentioned yesterday, upcoming video of, I don't think we told too much, so just a really stunning upcoming video, which hopefully I can do some music which will support the visual beauty that you are about to witness.
Did you see the whole?
I didn't watch the whole thing yet, but so I've got a rough cut of it, so I can get inspiration, right? And so anyway, we've got all these wires because I've got all these various microphones and recording devices, and then we've got the live setup overlaid on top of that, which I don't usually do. I usually tidy up. So anyway, I embellished away. Okay, guys, wow. When you talk about black tea fruity, check out this liquor. Okay, just check it out. Zooming in, beautiful, grab on. It's gonna grab on. Oh, look at that. Let's go big.
My hand was in the way.
I don't know. It's for liquor color. I mean, focus is kind of optional.
Go back, maybe.
I don't know. It's looking good to me.
Is it? Anyway, it's pretty true to what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, beautiful color.
White paper maybe. Anyways.
So that's the liquor color. The aroma. Let's talk about the aroma a little bit. Let's head back here so we're equal. But let them. And the lid that she just gave me, it has that balanced, fruity hint of sweet coming. Like this is just a perfect.
We also have that we call cooked potato, sweet potato, that kind of a.
Oh, which I'm having with our little Christmas dinner. We're doing a little late Christmas dinner. I'm going to have a little roasted sweet potato. But you're right, it is that sort of sweet. It's a very, it's not a sugary.
This is really sugary now.
That is, yep.
That is very
brown sugary, melted brown sugar, not caramelized, just melted, if you know what I mean. Cindy's got 2 guitars to her immediate right. I used to play for my kindergarten class every day before I retired. Oh, that's awesome.
That's
cool. We
cool.
should exchange tunes. I have a few. I used to play to my girls when they were little, so I have a bunch of, kind of those kind of songs. Like
what is that called? I love that one.
Not Rainbow Connection. You hate Rainbow Connection, I think.
I hate Rainbow Connection. The other one, what? Is that classic?
Yeah, no, it's like, I don't know, nobody knows how you could hate that song.
Oh, the other one about the boy.
Puff the Magic Dragon?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
like
Puff the Magic Dragon, another classic. That's a great one. A little bit triste. So Cindy's having traditional Kemen today. A lovely dry leaf. Yeah, that's one of my. Actually, Yeah, the trad Kemen is right up there
We
in some of
have
my
that a
favorite
lot
black teas.
in
Yeah,
the morning.
I
like
love
the
that.
first sip is
That is just, for me, that's a wonderful wake up tea. I just love it. So enjoy that. And everybody else, let's see what no news on what everybody else is brewing. So guys, spill the beans. If you got some tea going on, if you're having a beer, let us know what kind of beer it is. If you're drinking
This is-
whiskey or wine,
sorry.
we won't judge. Okay. Oh, lots of you are in Europe anyway, so you're allowed to have. Well, everybody's allowed to have wine and whiskey whenever they want. That's the sweet potato kind of sweet, huh?
That's sweet potato, but for me it has a chocolate
Mm.
element, that kind of a dark chocolate smell.
Oh, right. Not the flavor, but the
Not the
smell of the
flavor,
bar.
just- yes,
that smell
yes,
you get
yes.
off of the bar. Not
Yes.
even like powdery. It's just the
Mm.
rock, like a solid chunk of black chocolate might smell like that, yeah. 90s aged Baozhong. Nice.
Ooh,
We get the real tea snobs on our channel. I like that.
right.
Good one. Drinking some real nice rolled up Jasmine Green. Beauty.
I miss Jasmine Green. We just had that the other day.
Mm-hmm.
It was so nice. It's actually
Oh, the B 10,000.
it's actually I used to like subconsciously avoid the green and jasmine green in colder days like winter. I don't think of that, but the other day when he brew up the jasmine, I was like, somehow it fits so nicely. That uplifting, especially
Right.
we had like a weeks of a really
Gloomy,
gloomy,
overcast.
yeah.
It wasn't overly cold, but it was just gray. And then the next day, gray again. And guess what? Gray. And then the sun go down to 3, gray. Anyway, black. But yeah, I do it like to kind of remind me that spring is coming, even if it's far, far away, in a galaxy far, far away. Joseph had some Chomay earlier, but I'm getting tempted to brew up some home cha later. Maybe some smoked lapsang. Join the dark side. JS says, Jasmine is what got me into tea and it will always have a special place in my mugs. Oh, that's cute.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's my like same with me because in our hometown that's what we drink. A lot of green tea, but the jasmine is also.
Do you have a lot of osmanthus scented tea? Because you have a lot of osmanthus in your hometown, if I'm not mistaken.
We do have some, but not overly a lot as in terms of a popular or stuff like that.
I'm thinking of the
is,
flavor. It's not really.
It doesn't
quite right.
mind like a bind. There's only only one classic flower tea bind. That is jasmine green
Right,
tea.
right.
For
Yeah,
a
I can see
reason,
that.
but
I
there are
love-
lots of other scented ones.
We have osmanthus flower at home, and we put it in our this little breakfast dish we often have. I don't know if it's necessarily a breakfast dish, but we have it for breakfast, called Ubenza. I don't know what to call it. They're little balls of rice flour with like sesame paste or red bean paste or some magical paste, sweet, slightly sweet inside, and then you sprinkle those osmanthus flour in the boiling water and put that fermented rice with it, which we're going to make some soon, right? Right? Okay, good. We're out of that fermented rice. It's super good. It adds another gentle sweet.
So funny thing about how COVID hits in another level, which is the supply chain kind of thing in terms of our grocery. One thing that I couldn't get for quite a while was those.
Oh, the yeast, the fermenting rice
yeast,
yeast. There's a
yeah,
special
the-
yeast for that. It's not just regular.
Yeah, I just they didn't have that for
Ran
a
out.
long time. So then they come
Very
up.
sad times, guys. Very sad times.
Yeah, like a month or two, I couldn't get it, and
Every
I
time we
happened
ask.
to run out. Those things last forever, but just a bad timing for me to run out.
Very bad time.
And eventually, they finally had one that is new to me, so I haven't made that one yet because different yeast. I don't know. I gotta look up some ratio thing, but.
I hope it works. Cindy's husband drinks jasmine green all year round. Well, we do too now. I like the idea of magic paste, perhaps grown from magic beans. Yeah, perhaps. Magical flavor of those pastes. I love those. And this is the big thing when we shop for those Ubenza. The quality of the paste is a big. I mean, the shell is glutinous rice flour rolled. Can't really screw that up. but the paste can be really overly sweet or overly artificial, you know, because one of our
Or
favorite is
too
too
much
much peanut. So
I don't hate peanut. The reason is because the peanut is cheaper than black sesame.
right. So black sesame is one of our favorite, but you can taste some of them are black sesame, a little hint, and then a ton of peanut just to, you know, ideally you put in a bit of other nut to round out
You
the
need
nuttiness.
peanut to make that really
Right.
flavorful, but the
Right.
ratio cannot be most
It cannot be
peanut.
like 90% peanut with a drop of, which some of them are. So we're really picky about that magic paste. That's why I call it the magic paste, because it needs to be magic to work. And I haven't got up the courage to make our own yet of those. I made the ones with no filling. Those are fun and easy, dead easy to make. Okay, the water ratio is really critical, but other than that, dead easy. Water to flour. Oh boy.
I
Let me
think
just slow down.
to you the tricky thing was when to put that in the water to boil. You cannot start in cold
No, that
water.
was just I was asleep and did a stupid thing. So these have to drop into boiling water, but I forgot and put them in the cold water and brought them up the temperature, which causes them to dissolve. Whoops. We didn't eat that batch. That batch went into the. I think it actually went down the drain. It was so thoroughly liquefied, it couldn't be thrown in the garbage.
So,
It's 9:40. We're sitting, guys. Thanks for joining us so early.
ooh, that's really early. 9:40, 3 hours. Oh, East Coast.
West Coast.
West
This is a really nice tea, huh? I had a lot of tea already, so I'm slightly tea drunk, like pre-tea drunk. And this tea is definitely helping.
I don't know how to
Really nice.
describe them.
Yeah, these are really.
But it's easier than pu'er, I found.
Mm.
Because it's a black tea.
It's got how do you say, like the tasting profile is more. It's got some sweetness. It's got that,
It has
like
some
you said, chocolatey. It's got those. It's more
easy to
prominent in
pluck
those
thing.
notes, right?
Yeah.
The jungle flavor isn't something people don't eat the jungle much, so that it's a weird descriptor, but it's accurate. It's totally
Yes.
accurate.
Yes. And it's actually, with the black tea, a lot of times people think, maybe because a lot of tea bags are black tea and they're used to black tea, they think black tea are really easy to make. Or it's that simple.
Easy
or
to produce,
something.
mate, not brew.
Yes, yeah, not brew, sorry, process. But it's actually to make a good sip of black tea, it requires a lot of techniques. Like, it can be a good tea trivia question. So black tea is a fully oxidized tea. Does that mean all black teas are fully oxidized?
Right. I was going to
It's
say
actually
that's sort of
pretty,
the tricky
it's
step
very
because
tricky.
because quote unquote fully oxidized. I like to give little hints for upcoming trivia, so I talk about
Oh,
that a
really?
bit. Yeah, that shows
You
that people pay
figure-
attention.
Oh.
So fully oxidized, right? We always say green tea is not oxidized, and ideally, and black tea is fully oxidized, and oolong is partially oxidized, right? But what is fully oxidized? Like strictly speaking, if we say oxidation is enzymatic browning, what turns an apple brown when it's cut open, or what turns a banana brown. If we just take and think, okay, fully oxidized, then that's basically a pile of goo. Which we don't want. We don't want the black tea to be a pile of goo. So it's fully oxidized for the purpose of tasty tea. Now suddenly that's part of the complexity of black tea, right? You gotta know.
Well, on the other hand, in terms of making, like what you're saying is more like a technical side in terms of what is a fully oxidized, what is not.
Timing is everything.
Yeah, but what I was thinking is more like there's something called theoretically fully oxidized vis-a-vis realistically
Right.
not fully oxidized. So like a partial, it's not like a literally you cut off the apple and you see that side. It's a flat side. It's all brown. So I say this side is oxidized.
Right.
But tea is not quite like that.
Right.
Right. They're curled. They're stuffed. How do you know it's a fully oxidized?
Right.
And what degree of fully oxidized you want? It's actually pretty very interesting and very tricky to make a really good sip of a black tea. And I just feel like sometimes the people are not, like whenever they talk about black tea, especially those major brands and those tea bag brands, it's always oh, those are awful teas and stuff. But I do have a really deep respect for them for making with the material, with their blend, with stuff. very consistent
consistency,
quality.
yeah.
It's very tricky.
There's the same phenomena in craft beer culture, right? There's this real look down on somebody like, let's say, Budweiser, king of beers, right? People think, oh, that's Budweiser, that's just a mass-produced garbage. And you may not like the flavor, you may love the flavor, but one thing they do incredibly well, and I've heard this from a friend who's big into beer making, quite a skilled friend as far as beer making goes, in my opinion. No, he's the only guy who brew beer at home that I really feel I would pay for that off tap. He really nailed it. Like his one of the biggest things in beer making is hygiene. His hygiene was really good throughout the whole process. You make a mistake at one spot, you taste those little inputs, those little sideways things. Not good. Anyway.
Because of the yeast company.
Yeah, the fermenting, right? It's got to be delicate. So anyway, Anheuser does a great job of delivering the same sip with, ingredients change over time, but they deliver the Budweiser flavor and clean, pure beer every single brew. But similar with those tea bag companies, right? They've got to dial in their own flavor, even though it's a brand new crop every year. The weather was different, everything was different, right?
And
Really
they
tricky.
switched the origin too. Because of their price, they're doing massive
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
right? They switched from Guangdong to Yunnan and switched from Kemen. Those blends, those stuff, those are very technical aspects of tea, and sometimes being under-evaluated a lot of times.
Easy to poo-poo just because it's wrapped up in a bag.
Yeah, but it's poo-poo.
Anyway, yeah, let's see what's going on here. Joseph likes the little cups, super cute. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love holding this. I just
I'm gonna show them. These are gorgeous. I just love it. I'm gonna butt right in front of you there. Look at that. So these are hand etched. These little drawings, like hers is not the same as mine. She's gonna show you hers now to prove it. Just get right in there. So yeah. Look at that.
Oh, so here. So you can see those are hand etched little, very detailed thing.
Very
and
detailed.
You touch it, it has that
Yeah, it's got
texture.
a little subtle texture, right?
Yes.
Give it a little grippiness, actually. To be honest, it's somewhat practical.
Yeah, and have been using this for a while. I love the edge.
Yeah,
it's
get in there on the edge. You got it.
Special. Come on. Show me. No.
There it goes. Now
Replace.
sneak the cup in there. So it's really thin. What we're trying to show is how thin that edge is, which is comfy on the lip, right? Like
it's
there.
very like a thing. It's elegant. It feels special, but at the same time, the pour. Actually talking about craftsmanship in terms of the ratios and the curve and stuff really matters.
Yeah.
Like this curve, how it goes out is
the
really
flare. How much it flares out
the
is.
flow of the liquor is very comfy. Like.
Yeah, just nice cups to sip from.
Yes.
And then who else said that? Cindy said anything out of those cups looks so elegant. Igor says, what time the live show tomorrow? I didn't get home from work on time. Tea trivia loser. Oh, he doesn't want to miss the tea trivia. Igor doesn't want to miss tea trivia. It's the same time. So it's 12:30 Eastern. So I think that's about 5:30 p.m. your time. I'm not sure, Igor. I'm not sure what the delta to Spain is, but it's 12:30 p.m. Eastern. So hopefully that will work for you. And you will be a tea trivia winner in my heart forever, no matter what. Okay? Cindy says, I think I've told you before that I suffer from PTDD, post-traumatic tea bag disorder.
Yes.
Yes, we even stole that.
Yes,
we
I was
just love that. PTTD, right? So it's hard for me to find a black tea I enjoy. We'll help you with that in a moment. Let us know how you feel about the Kemen. Fingers crossed. I just love the dried Kemen. Dee's Versify says, yes, we talked about that before, Cindy, but I think I am coming around. Ah, right. And Joseph is so jealous. That's a little... Did you know that? You knew that.
No.
I think he's jelly of the cups. I think Dee's Versified changed her icon. I really love that. It's just a 3 grayscale.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool. Somehow it really catches my eye. Hey Lolo, welcome to the stream. Hello, yesterday I heard that holding the cup with your index finger is a no-no. I was doing it wrong the whole time. Sorry. I never heard that.
Never heard that.
Go ahead, hold it with your index finger with impunity. I don't know, yeah, I guess maybe
I don't care.
I-
I think
I
the
thought it
worst
was-
thing is the
Oh,
spell.
you know
the
why?
Why?
You know what? Rock and roll. That's why. Because I've heard the pinky, you know, the English have the pinky thing, right? And then if you get rid of the index finger, suddenly you've got this.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why. Maybe the rockers
I don't know.
banned the index finger, but we know of no ban on the index finger, and we use our index finger with impunity around here. So feel free to tell them Phil said it was okay.
This is what, 4 or 5 infusions? Usually you would expect if teas with pure buds, they are less robust as their buds. And the lower the pluck of the plant, the more
Juicy, the more robust,
durable, longer it
the
can
more
brew.
longevity you get.
But
from
with
the
the
brew.
good process, and of course they're primed to war kind of thing, the
Mm.
buzz quality is really good. You can brew a lot of infusions with this, which I'm gonna show you. So today I got a little bit picture prepared.
Ooh.
Because the other day we were talking about udon and stuff, which I also want to show you the picture later too. So
gonna
I just want to
squeeze
show you
over.
those old little what
I
how
need-
many 16 I think was
Was it-
4
was it
years ago.
Some
that
number. Oh, 2016. You're trying to remember the
2016.
date. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's right. So we'll head over to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're back to this screen, and now you have sound. Was there sound towards the end there, guys? Just let us know. I hope you are not sharing tea pearls of wisdom that we are missing. We didn't share any pearls of wisdom. Thank you. Not yet. We were just kind of warming up to the pictures. Do you have sound back
Sound.
now? Hey, Stone Sentinel.
Stone.
Welcome to the stream. I'm just waiting to hear if we've got sound back now, hopefully, because
Or
we
is that fully off?
everything looks good from our end. Sound is back. Okay, we've got sound back on this screen, so it seems to
I
be.
think it's related to the image and
Ayo.
stuff. Loud and clear now.
Okay, let me do this then. Let me see if this will allow me to work on that while not killing our being present with you here. I'm gonna do this so you
So
can
only
still.
came back when you went to one screen.
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. I'm gonna see if I
Yeah.
can't get that fixed. Oh, I see the problem right here. I think I found it. I'm gonna try switching, guys, and you're gonna let us know if it's working better now. Okay? Here we go. Or here we don't go. I don't know. Trying to make it work.
Okay.
There we go. So let us know. Can you hear us now? Okay,
We're not
give us.
talking anything important.
We're not going to share any pearls of wisdom until we know that you can hear us. I think I found the problem. I think I found the problem. I guess when you take it off visual, it also mutes it. So just waiting to see a message come in that says sound is okay. Can you give us a thumbs up or a shout out? And then we're going to start talking about these pictures, and the pearls of wisdom will begin to flow. Okay, we did it. Thank you, Joseph. We will now proceed with an abundance of pearls of tea wisdom. Please go ahead. No pressure. Okay, so tea and tech lessons. Yes, there's so much going on with this stuff. It's super
so tricky.
Anyway, I'll try and get a better handle. I'm the tech director, so I'm getting fired immediately.
I don't have a backup, so you're lucky.
Very lucky.
So it's just
Please commence with pearls of wisdom. Roger that.
I just dig up some old jasmine. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yo. I got some butt. Now we're gonna taste those butts. See.
Oh yeah, we'll let you know. Well, I was trying to switch to the brew can to catch that pour, but I missed it. But don't worry, the buds are tasty.
Maybe we can show them this.
You want to show them? Sure. Here's the some of the brewed leaf, guys. See if we can snap that in. There it goes. There it goes. Looking good.
It shows.
Shoot
So
it.
dark. It looks so dark there.
Yeah, let me shoot it like this. Oh yeah, it is dark.
Here, this
there we
is
go.
slightly
You got a
more.
red brown.
Yeah. See, those are all individual buds. Those are all hand plucked buds, and those are big buds.
Big and juicy. Yeah.
In terms of a big, it's a small cultivar. You know, it's a local cai, but because it's again, I shouldn't say that, but it's like how Canadians are taller than Chinese because of the cold weather.
And meat
Did
and
you
a bunch of
notice
stuff,
the
right?
the north and the colder it is, the bigger the size is?
I think because the more meat people eat, because there's not veggie all year round.
Yeah, something like that. But
Just a
anyway,
guess.
those buds go through some stress because they live in those deep valleys of the stuff. So and the semi-wild-ish is basically they don't do much managing. They don't need to do much managing because of the area which I was showing picture. Okay, let's go back to
Coming
picture.
soon. Da-da-da-da.
The color I see is more to the brown side. That's to the dark. That because how the
It's
white.
very red brown, huh?
Yeah.
The contrast is tough for the camera.
Yes.
Yeah, it's more of a deep red brown. Really beautiful. JS said they're so pretty, and the flavor, unbelievable.
Golden leaves.
Oh, and we missed the question. I think. Did I miss the answer to my question about golden leaves? Pearls of wisdom. I didn't see the golden leaf question. Oh, maybe because Jin? This Kemen. No, we might have missed your question about golden leaves.
Yeah,
Cindy.
we didn't see it.
Yeah, shoot it out though. Let us know what is the question, and we will do our best to drop some golden leafed pearls of wisdom.
Not much of a wisdom. This is a picture. So I just want to show you. So when 2016 when we went to Wuyi, this black tea, the beginning of the black tea is also in the Wuyi mountains. Right, Tongmuguan is it's a small area inside the Wuyi areas. And in 2016 when we visited, we also went to Tongmuguan into the village and visit. The day
I missed it.
Yes.
We're gonna go back though. Don't worry.
It's a very Tongmuguan is a very regulated, like a very
Regulated, yeah.
regulated
Restricted area,
restricted area. You don't, even with the Chinese, you don't just go in, you cannot walk in. You need somebody to from the village say this is my guest, then you can come in. They check all IDs and everything like that, just to make sure, because of that whole area a lot of the activities are banned to protect its original
The natural
environment.
integrity?
Yes, it's a very stunning area, and the village and all those people live in a really little valley of the mountains, which
Wow.
the picture will show. It's pretty big. The first one and this one both showed you, because the day before we arrived, no, even the day it was a huge rain, like a huge rain. Like imagine the if you were in Ontario in the summer, we might have a thunderstorm of really intensive rain for like 30 minutes an hour tops.
Right.
But there is that amount of rain for a couple of days. So the whole
Wow.
yes. So the whole road was the day we arrived was closed. Like nobody would go in. Nobody to go into the Tomu village
Right.
because this is the road which turned into a river,
Right.
and there's lots of rocks and stuff fall off the
I think that's
mountain, which
not yet.
which you will see in the later pictures, a
Right.
little bit chaotic. But next one is showing the road go in, which is totally just a greenery with this kind of a river running alongside.
Raging, right? From the previous couple of days, you can see kind of through the greenery that it's just raging.
Yes, and this kind of once it rains in mountainous area, the mountain streams like
Spring to life, sort of.
yeah.
No pun intended, but
Yes, and it takes like a month or something, assuming there's no excessive rain afterward again.
which there
It
often
will
is.
still continue flow for a
Mm.
month or something. That's just how the mountain works. It's
Yeah, I
pretty
was going to
special.
ask you when you talked about the intensity of the rain. When we got rained on in Wuyi, it was like that, but for days, right?
Mm.
But ours again it was luckily for us, it was only like a half hour to an hour of downpour, but it was just a real downpour with spectacular thunder and lightning and everything.
Mm.
But even from that half hour to 1 hour burst, for the rest of the day, all the cliffs in Wuyi were just streaming water over them and even through them, like the rock become just, I don't know, start to ooze water kind of.
Yeah.
Really beautiful. Wow.
And that's in the valley of Tomuguan. So when we went in, there's tons of bamboos. There's a lot of the tea region just happened to be in the south. It's tea and bamboo.
Let me move
And-
us. So that's
Right.
like that give you a better shot. We were kind of covering the bamboo there, but that's and you can see by the
Yes.
color that it runs all the way down.
Yeah.
You can't see my
it's
hands.
just full of bamboo. That's why a lot of times,
All
like
that stuff, that's all bamboo right there.
when we look at it, it's just why we use bamboos for making tea? We're using this. It's just
Right.
readily
Because it's there.
available material, and
Mm.
they grow like weeds and super fast
And surprisingly workable, right? And durable.
yeah.
It's kind of a magic wood in that it's abundant, grows super fast, and I don't know if we're not going to Yunnan, but in our Yunnan video that we talked about, pardon me, yesterday, in a clip from that video, we show the guys making baskets, which is just bamboo. They just slice, really sharp knives, make strips out of it, and then they weave baskets. They make all kinds of jazz. Like it's so useful.
but that's why.
Tables, houses. We talk about somebody.
Yeah, we
Their
do
museum was
houses with
entirely
those.
made of bamboo. So what a versatile building. Not much stuff you can make. Imagine a brick basket.
Because we don't have freeze issues. All we
Right.
care is just diffuse the water,
Yes, right.
right? And you see our houses is all so open that inside, outside, there's not
Right.
much
Yeah,
difference.
just you don't have to
Yeah.
waterproof.
And in the spring, which is the best time. Early spring, you eat bamboo shoots.
Oh, they're so
And-
good.
Yeah, the
Ayo.
local ones. For us, I feel like bamboo shoes are shoes that didn't come picked out from the dirt. Those are the tenderest,
Right.
most
They didn't
delicious.
crown yet. They didn't
Yeah.
get out of the earth.
But later
Yeah.
on, when they go back, sometimes even here we can buy bamboo shoes those in grocery store. But those are very
Old,
old.
right?
You really have
Hairy.
to peel out a lot of outer shell to have the tender part.
So the underground ones is just ready to eat.
Yeah.
You just bite 'em.
But like me, I only know how to eat, and when I eat, I know this is a good one, this is a bad one. But I
Right.
don't know how to pick. But the local farmers, so they can see the ground and they know where the bamboo is coming out, so they know where to go. But for me, it was just all ground. There's no difference.
Right.
Another reason I don't see those bamboo fibers and bamboo something sells super expensive. I said, what?
Right. Yeah, when you see bamboo stuff at the store, you're like, what?
Yeah.
So here's Cindy's
Oh,
question.
okay.
Let's just go full screen for a bit.
Right.
Maybe my question didn't go through. My Kemen is pretty much all black dry leaves. As I recall, Jin Jun Mei has some golden leaves mixed in. Is that because they are tips?
Tips. Oh, that's actually a very good question. So Jin Jun Mei, the uniqueness of Jin Jun Mei is it uses exclusively buds, which nowadays you might see a lot of tea use buds and stuff. But before that, before this tea was invented, people don't use buds. Good
Right.
teas make green tea, leftovers make black tea. And that kind of situation. If there's a buzz, people don't care much in terms of how to preserve it or taste it. It wasn't too much into more of a tasting level of tea. So what you are seeing, those black dry leaves are mostly leaves, which is how the tea leaves looks after they're fully oxidized. But what you are seeing, those golden leaves, what makes golden isn't the leaf, it's the buds. And to be specific, it's not the bud, like the leaf part of the bud, it's the tea fuzz part.
Fuzz.
Yeah, the fuzz, once it get oxidized, it start to look gold, look yellow. Yeah.
Yeah, so our trad Kemen is so named traditional because it, as Jim was saying, like old times or before bud started to get introduced into black tea, Kemen was obviously leaf. But as the bud kind of people are now kind of judging tea by, oh, it's pretty low on bud and it's black tea, this is kind of new, people are going crazy, so Kemen get more and more buds. And so if our Kemen
Yes.
has a few of those little golden the golden leaves, so it has more bud rich, but the trad Kemen was a return to the real authentic or old style, leaf heavier, and still, but with the proper process, no sacrifice
those
whatsoever.
are top grade Kemen.
Yeah,
top
really.
grade traditional Kemen, well made, even though it didn't chase
richer.
the trend of a buds or stuff. It probably is less of a fruity you will get from the bud, but it has its own unique flavor and very rich and robust. And I think it's a very good drink.
It's a
drink.
really good. No, it's good
Yeah.
to have a little bit of fiber in the tea. Oh, brew can. You can see the fiber there. Oh, you even got one in your glass. That was live feed, right there. You live fed me.
Oh.
It's okay. What do you think? We weren't live suddenly? So,
Oh,
so she says
sorry.
also. No, it's okay. It was cute, and give us a thumbs up if you thought her feeding me a bud was cute. I think it was totally cute. I was just trying to.
I didn't think too much.
As I recall, Jin Jun Mei and some golden. So we answered that. So then she says, our photos always make her want to take a trip to China. Does one have to be very fit to visit the tea areas? I'm 63 and a bit safe. So I want to.
My version.
Yeah, sure. We'll give you two versions. So I want to say, because in my 2018 trip, I got sick, and
Those buds are totally edible.
so I don't think you need to be like super fit, but I think what you, and probably where I'll let you take over, is I think you do want to be cautious and kind of do some preparation, but you shouldn't avoid a visit to the tea area solely based on your shape. You live in California, so what I do now is I try to do some hill walking before I leave, just so that I'm ready to walk up and down hills, because that's what we're going to do there. Climate-wise, you might have an advantage over me because you're in California and I'm in Ottawa. So I do my hill walking in -20 typically, Celsius, and maybe -10 if I'm lucky. But it's nice to try to acclimatize. My strategy in Ottawa is to bundle up like crazy, so I'm pretty warm and humid close to my body, even though my breath is like a cloud every breath. So I think you don't need to avoid it, but you want to be cautious and prepare a little bit as much as you can, and pace yourself. Don't try to pack too much in a short period of time, and listen to your guide if you have one. Really important.
He gets in trouble when he's naughty.
Men, raise your hand if you don't like to listen, and or you like to listen, but you always like to say that you're not going to listen and argue a little bit. And
I have to argue first.
Mhm.
Anyways, my answer is simple. Of course, you can go to tea region. There's a difference. The difference between Phil and I is Phil and you or other people who wanted to visit is Phil has to be attached to us, kind of like visit together, which has a lot of intensive work in the tea region. You
True.
don't have to go to tea region and do what we do.
Right. Her
'Cause
mom
we
is
do
amazingly
work.
like.
We have to go to the field. We have to go to the most obscene, like those like
Climb a mountain to
corners
find
and
a tree.
areas. Yes,
Right?
we are always looking for those top-notch teas, and we stay up super late with the farmers. We sometimes stay in a farmer's place, and really awful conditions. It just
Not too
I mean-
like austere, right? I'll
Right,
put a nice word on it.
okay.
Really rustic conditions, right? In but you know,
Right.
obviously super fun experience.
Yes, it's a fun experience. We do
But
those.
it's hard on the body.
But when a tea lover visits, you probably would, and many places, most of the Chinese tea regions are well developed, developed area with the
Like
proper
Mumbai.
roads, with really nice accommodation, and a lot of tea tourism is starting
Well established, yeah.
in those areas. So you will be able to see the tea field, to see tea factories and tea areas without too much of a really physical going over mountains and mountains.
I forgot. Yeah, we do all
Yeah.
of that because we kind of have to.
Yeah, it's what
And we
we
love
do
it.
is different than how regular people
And I'm telling you,
go.
her mom is hardcore. I can't. we probably shouldn't tell your mom's age, but her mom is
Oh.
around your age, Sydney. You don't have that in Chinese, right? You guys just say that.
We don't
How
feel
old is
much.
she? Yeah, so she's closing in on 60, but she just moves like all the time, like just
all
spot to
this
spot.
heavy backpacks.
Yeah, I
and
have to
stuff.
grab the backpack from her, and and if I don't pay attention, she grab that and take that, and just day after day we're going, like you said, up till 3, processing tea with the producers, drinking tea with the producers.
Yeah, we're like how we. Oh, it's actually interesting because we sometimes get a request or inquiries about tea trips with us and stuff, and I usually just turn those down. And there are people suggesting us doing tea trips and stuff.
Yeah.
It's very hard because we are not like most people would go there, source tea, sit there, drink tea, choose tea, and that's pretty much it. We have a lot of other works to do there.
Duties. Our duties to you guys.
Yeah, I don't for example, if usually I think if I bring some, if just my friend go to visit a tea region you kind of have to tour around the area, see the rivers, take the crafts, the bamboo craft on the water.
The raft.
The raft. Sorry, the raft and stuff. But we don't have time for those, and our schedule is super early morning, 5-6, and late night. And if it's
Like super early morning to actually super early morning.
yeah,
You know,
if
1,
it's
2,
a
3 in the
oolong,
morning.
like 2-3 in the morning, and for several days because we're doing other things with the farmers. So we're not just to sit down and drink tea. So, and it's tough.
Yeah.
So if I have the only suggestion, if you consider, I think any age can do that. The only thing is give yourself extra time in China to acclimatize to the local climate. You're from California, it's pretty warm, but it's not wet. I don't know about your
Right.
area. First time I went to Los Angeles, I was like, what? I cannot imagine a coastal area without the wetness. How could that be?
Right.
It was pretty shocking to me, but
Right. Just
and
different
time change.
different wind patterns and climates and stuff. So, and that's the one when I learned in 2018 is it's not super hot or super cold. It can be super hot, but in the spring it's not typically super hot or super cold. But the climate combined with a bunch of other things, the connection's a little bit poor. Hopefully you guys are still catching this. But the climate combines with everything just to create a whole new environment for your body, which, not to mention you're about, for me, 12 hours out of cycle, but you're significantly out of your circadian rhythm. So give yourself time to adapt to the climate as well as the
and there's
time.
no food, right? Food is also different too. Consider that sometimes we feel like they're delicious, but it's still not our home food. It could have pretty
Right.
effect on our digestive system, which
Right.
we should always pay attention to.
Yeah.
What, is there anything?
Just a little, I don't know, whoops.
Okay.
Just a little high drop frame, but I think we're okay. I just want to clearly a warning so that we
Okay,
can see
lots
what's
of
going on.
comments I didn't read.
Yeah, let's catch up.
Mm.
So she says your photos always, we got that. Igor says he has a Jin Jun Mei that
Uh-huh.
has very golden color. I'm not a big fan
Right.
of black tea, but this one is not great quality, I think. So that's a good point. Like the Jin Jun Mei we're having is the Jin Jun Mei made by the inventor, but of course, because it was such a successful tea, immediately was copied. And some of them are decent and some of them are less decent, right? So, right? Anything else? I think that's great.
Yeah.
Cindy says, when I lived in a different house, folks from Vietnam used to stop by and asked if they could harvest some of my bamboo shoots. I regret not asking them to show me how they prepared them.
You
Yeah,
can
that would've been
harvest
cool.
them and just brew that in hot water.
Brew, boil, you mean?
Yeah, just a brew like how you have tea. Bamboo
really?
heart is really good, especially like in spring. It's good to have some in the spring, like March, April kind of thing.
Right.
And if you have really, it's a really good for anti-heat symptoms. Lots of old people in my hometown also collect those.
Really interesting thing. The more like we have a little bit of the way we approach tea and health, or just health in general, is really Chinese style, TCM style in our household, and it's really interesting to see the link of food culture and health in Chinese culture. For them, food is really important, that it be delicious, but not only delicious, but also healthy, but not in a sort of, in a more natural way. Like when you eat what is really seasonal, and you help get your body, oh, winter's coming, it's time to eat some of this, you know. It's very interesting. So I don't want to go off, but if you're interested in that, definitely leave us a thumbs up or a comment, because we love to share those, and I found they've been really helpful, just to have to improve my lifestyle. And Igor says, this photo reminds me of the mountain in my area north of Spain. Ooh, that is big time on our bucket list, to get over to Spain and tour around just everywhere. Spain and Portugal, oh boy. So Igor will have some tea when that happens. Cindy says, good reason to do more hill walking. Definitely doesn't hurt to just improve your shape. Give yourself a couple months before you go, because it takes time, but that helped me a lot. On my second trip, I really focused in, I dialed it in, and I got there, I was just in top shape. Cindy says, I'm good with rustic. Go to Rwanda quite often. Just don't know if it requires a lot of mountain climbing. So it can be, like
There's
she said,
an option.
pretty built up. It's pretty like a Mungding. You could have totally just drive up, have tea with producer, drive up to the top of Mungding Shan and see the temples and stuff. You can walk to. They had the tram, right? You could take the little,
Yeah.
which was really cool. And Jen's mom appears to be much more slender. Yeah, she's very fit. It's unbelievable how fit she is. And Joseph says the video's a bit choppy, but the audio is fine. So hopefully the video will settle in, and we'll be all right. Not sure why it's choppy, but c'est la vie. Not much we can do. Everything looks copacetic on this side. Shall we head back to the pictures? We're making our
Sure.
way through these.
Yes.
So let me
Next
get-
one?
Next one.
What's this? Oh, this is interesting. You can you tell this a building with an outer shell kind of thing? So the brown part, which is the authentic part, the older part, are pure bamboo houses and wood and bamboo, local wood and bamboo built. The front is the concrete modern ones to support it. That building has been 300? I don't know. Hundreds of years. It's listed
Wow.
as a protected house. So they do limited production in this facility, and that's the original black tea process house. That's where all our
That's where it all started.
premium top grade Lapsang Suzhong comes from, and
Oh, wow.
our Jin Jun Mei that all so their family house, but now it's like a national protected
treasure kind of thing,
yeah
right?
yes
So is that the one that I've seen pictures of from the other side, the really black one?
yes.
I think it's
Yes.
coming, right? Let's check it.
So these are the woods that used to smoke Lapsang Suzhong. It's that kind of a pine is called Mawei Song. It's a local material because they have that
Right,
there.
right.
Now it's seem to be more protected. There's some limitations and uses of those.
Right.
It's a very unique. It has a really unique flavor.
An aroma, yeah.
And this is outside,
Ah, that's
very
the
dark.
one. Let me move
But
us
that
out of the
has
way.
that traditional like
Really black
southern,
from the smoke, huh?
yeah, southern building kind of thing. Now they move all those fire-related process out of that wooden area. They don't
Right.
want to cause fire
don't want
for
it to
this.
burn down.
Yeah. So and have some outer shell to help support it because it's really old, but it's still in production. It's still making
Still
stuff.
in use.
Yeah,
Still
in
use it.
use, in use. That's right.
And you can see the
s-
river in the foreground, just again raging by.
Yes, and you look at
Beautiful.
the location, and up you can see the slope and the bamboos there. Those are around the bamboo. The tea plants are around the bamboos over the stuff. They don't literally. A lot of times when we talk about tea farm, as these Jin tea, the teas we bring, the farm is not like a farm that I designate this area just
Right,
for those.
Just for
and
tea bushels.
yeah, were rows of rows. A lot of tea are like the Guzhu Zisun, like a lot of our teas are come from this semi-wild situation that
Right.
people planted, put that there with minimum maintenance so that it can have the healthy, natural.
The biodiversity, right? You've
Yes,
got-
and also they don't plant it so intensely like the modern tea farming, which is strips and strips and strips.
Right.
Yeah, so those are the one. And you can see that village is just in that alley.
In
of
that valley,
mountain,
yeah.
and up this side is mountain. The
Right.
little alley, that village is just very small.
Mm.
100 families or something tops. I don't think so.
Wow.
I don't know the number. There's the official numbers on how many families there are registered as the local people there. Because of the rise of a black tea and all that, this region become a heated
Right. So
area.
it's not a growth area. They don't want it to grow because it would ruin the environment.
Yeah, and this is what happens on
Mhm.
the road. A lot of those mountains, just because of the rain and gushing
Right.
rain, it just falls on the ground.
It's erosion in action.
And
Whoa,
this
it's-
is what
whoa.
you the original, like the river is, you can see those greens are all, even tea bushes, those younger tea bushes are in the water. This is not quite deep into the mountains yet. It was just the outer area when all the mountain, like the rains and the waters become, so concentrated in the river and totally flood to the shore.
Wow.
I just
Oh,
wanna.
hello.
Yeah, this one, I just want to show this one because talking about purple tea, yellow tea, green tea, talking about tea plant itself, just a regular tea plant, they could have those new shoots have different colors
Right.
too. That's why when Lu Yu talk about like a purple tea, how it wasn't a special cultivar or
Right.
something. It's just that cultivar seemed to have a little bit more of new shoots of purple color.
Right.
And this is a 水仙 plant.
Oh, cool. Whoa. Is that your mom there?
That's me.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah, that's me.
She's pretty mini in the picture, so.
Yeah, that big tea 水仙 tea bush is the supreme 水仙, the old ones. Those are really old. They don't trim it. They let them grow. So you can imagine a tree like that is very limited maintenance in terms of trimming and stuff. But when it comes to plucking, it's way more work.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of times
Up in the
people
tree.
do this. Yeah.
Right.
They usually take 2 to 3 people to pluck because there's a ladders.
They carry
and stuff.
ladders and sometimes climb
Yes.
up onto branches and
Yes.
crazy fun. So let's
Yeah.
there's a few questions.
Yeah.
Lolo4711 went from tea bags, black tea, to green tea to oolong. When I prepare black tea today, I have a totally different expectation of the taste compared to tea bag. Yeah, it's a real game changer once you
Yes.
get into quality loose leaf tea like what we're drinking. For sure, it's like stellar.
Yeah.
It just really, it's a much more delicate and it just, really not delicate. It's the wrong word. It's full, but it's pleasant. Not so astringent and bitter.
Yes. And you see how those buds, how many infusions I have been
Oh,
brewing?
you've been brewing like crazy. They're really
And they're
robust.
robust and consistent.
Mm.
You know, it's a very important thing in terms of what is a
Right.
good tea. A lot of times it's in little things you don't
Right.
think about. It's not about the first infusion flavors. It's about 5-10 infusions, the consistency in terms of its
Right.
intensity. It's not suddenly drop.
Yeah.
There
Right.
might be changes in terms of what tasting elements is
Right.
more prominent
Right.
or more backdrop.
Yeah, like if there's a floral element, it's not just on the fourth infusion, it's gone and replaced by the, I don't know, tobacco or something. Or
Yeah,
in
well,
this case,
sometimes it's just empty. You could have
Mm.
tea that is very impressive at the first, second, or even third infusion, and suddenly maybe at the fifth infusion, it was just avalanche.
done. Yeah.
It's a done, empty.
Right. Which is a little bit more typical for black tea, right? After 4 or
Mhm.
5 infusions, we kind of expect them to be done. This guy's got
Yeah.
great legs and keeps going. So, and Cindy says, would those balconies have been outdoors originally? Are there balconies on the other side, on the outside? So that's,
I think it's that one. Yeah,
Oh,
I think
was it
that's
this
the
one?
one showing.
I'm
The
not sure. I
balcony?
think it was the indoor one.
Oh yeah,
This
yeah.
one. There's
Yes,
the balcony.
old
there.
times it was outdoors.
Mm.
The other side doesn't have balcony because the other side was against another river-ish.
Yeah, but I think this is like the courtyard
Oh.
outdoors. Is that right?
What does that mean?
Like, you know how the Chinese buildings sometimes have open interior?
Yeah.
So it's indoors, but it's open sky. Is that this case or not?
In this case, the building was its own building. Then the
Ah,
white part of the
I see.
concrete was
So
the
fully
supporting.
outdoors.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay,
Yeah.
so hope that answered your question there,
Mm.
Cindy. And yeah, really beautiful.
Regularly, flood regularly so that they prepare for it, or was that unusual? It's regular. It's very regular in southern area. We have flood, and for then there was a news the last summer. I think the whole place flooded. Even the Wuyi airport was flooded. So the local people just go to the airport and catch fish.
At the airport?
Yeah, because it's flooded, full of so airport flood is like their water comes really thick. Eventually they slow to, because how it's built, you will eventually drain all the water.
and the
so
fish
it's
get
a very
trapped at low points.
very easy to get. Yeah,
I used to work at an airport. I wouldn't fish there. Lots of nasty stuff
they
that's
have
on
to
the ground.
stop. Oh,
You have jet fuel and oil. Like we're careful about it, but I still wouldn't fish there. You never know.
okay. So you
Anyway.
never thought of that.
Yeah, tell your friends.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, anyway, in general, just on the other hand, I just want to say we really have a really, really good natural resources.
Hydration?
No,
Oh.
I mean the whole ecosystem,
not
like
just
how
the rain.
fish can go.
the trees, the bamboo.
Yes, and so they're really doing a great job trying to maintain.
And preserve, right?
Yes,
Mm.
to keep that, and yes, in the south we often flood.
And JS asked,
It happens a lot actually in the south. When
Sure.
we flood, we just go get fish off the street or stuff. But in news, especially in northern news, like Beijing CCTV news is always all sources are flooded. This really unfortunate. Sometimes we have boats on the street because it's
and
flooded.
they're like all freaking out for you, and you guys, it's not so bad.
It just happens all the time.
Right. And JS asked, how old is this tree? I think we're gonna get there. So
it's about.
I think we're getting some close-ups of that, no?
No.
Shuixian close-ups?
No, that's a dantong. So I also
dantong,
prepared
okay.
some dantong
Mm.
pictures. This is around 80-ish years. Yeah.
And Cindy thinks fishing at the airport is wild. Me too.
Oh, this picture
This
is.
looks so fun.
I
I'm
just
gonna-
want to tell this
let us
this
get out of the
story.
way.
It was really funny. Look at me. I was devastated at that point and joyful. That what happened is we went to the tea region, which is right, with the farmers and stuff. Then we wander around. So I was like, we can wander around to other tea regions and stuff. And me and my mom get lost. Okay, that's
In the
not-
woods?
In the woods, okay. And we're city people. We're like, we're done. We didn't have water at all, and in the woods we have no knowledge. We don't know and what water is to drink or not. The farmer told us if you drink water, you drink the water under the sun, off the rock. don't drink any other water.
Under the sun off a rock.
Yeah, otherwise you got tummy ache.
Right.
Like not death like poison, but you will get
Yeah, yeah.
sick for
Yeah,
that
yeah.
because other water is for us is like super cold kind of thing. So under the sun it kind of have the little warmth and stuff. Anyway, so that was
Right.
it. So we were thirsty. Luckily we have tea plants around, so we always go there. And that was the end of the season. What means is if it's in the intensive like a plucking season, there's lots of people in the tea field. But we were there and nobody is there. Nobody is plucking. We don't hear a thing except the birds.
Ah.
It was like
So you're alone.
No.
You didn't expect to be alone.
no.
But you
I
were.
thought here is the thing in the mountain. You know, I thought if there's a road, I just follow the road, and they give us instructions. Okay, instructions. Follow this. Don't turn this. Don't turn this. You see a big rock, you turn this. And there's
Country
a
instructions. Everybody
Yes,
knows how to
and
follow
the-
this. But
by the time we walk, you know, it's a weed. There's lots of big rocks. So every turn I was like, is this the turn? Anyway, we got totally lost, and the cell phone is useless because there's no coverage. There's
Mm.
no GPS. So I would just walk. We walk for a long time and don't see anything. It was really kind of scary for me. Like I'm those people. I don't see people. I feel frightened.
yeah, it's pretty funny when we go out in the woods for a walk. Like, cause Canada also, you can easily drive for a little bit, go for a hike, and you know there's spots around here where you won't see a person, you know, weeks, maybe months. Like, okay,
Yeah,
probably
it's
not months,
frightening.
but anyway.
So
And,
okay.
you know, no, that's it. Off trail, you can be pretty isolated, and she doesn't like
Yeah,
that. She's
no,
like,
no,
"Where's all the
no.
people?" She prefers a little crowd. I hate that. I like to go where there's nobody at all. We're opposite that way.
Yes. So this what
But not
happened
lost.
is eventually we heard people. We heard people. I have just never been so happy to hear people talking and yelling. Okay. So what happened is this is their last day of plucking. And oh my god, we ran towards them, okay? Savior. I really thought I would die there.
Now that I look at the face, especially the lady who's sitting with the red thermos there, guys. You
Right.
see her over there, I guess,
Mm.
right there. She looked kind of giggling at you guys.
I know. They were
City
like,
folk.
what? Yes, and
City
they share
folk.
with us their drinks and stuff. They're like, don't drink water here. Don't drink water here.
Wow.
Because we don't know what water
I'm
to
gonna bring
drink.
the filter next time. just in
It's
case
not
we
the
get lost.
filter. It's
Huh?
not poison. It's get you.
No, I mean that's what that when I take camping, that's for that. Make sure your tummy doesn't get upset.
Yeah, for them it's because of the climate. They get sick a lot. What happened? Like in
Mm.
Chinese, we said because it's hot and humid and your everything is open,
Mm.
and that water is extremely cold. Comes from all the ground and stuff,
Ah,
and
right.
didn't have time.
Right,
So
right.
and when you're walking and exercising, it's really weak on your
Right.
digestive
Got you,
system.
got you. Yeah.
It's not like if you test those water, those
It's
are
probably
really
clean, so you just let it
Yes.
warm up a bit.
yes.
But you needed a container. Got you. That's pretty funny. I'm glad you're okay. I'm really glad you're okay.
And it's just really so we just walk along with them and they were plucking and different and talk about how they were getting paid, how are their seasons and
Cindy's glad you're not still wandering around the woods, and Michael
I
Tabor just popped in just to say hello. So hello, Michael. He says he can't stick around, so thanks for popping in.
we
And
can always catch up later though.
yeah, I'm really glad she made it out too. Super glad.
Oh, this just wanna catch you guys because the other day when we were having I oversteeped.
And it's still really good. Not bitter at all.
Not bitter, but it's just strong. You can
Strong.
You can
Full.
feel I oversteeped after like what 7, 8. I don't
Yeah,
know how
still
many infusions.
Full of flavor.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
This is I just want to catch you up with a little bit of udon dancong because the other day I really wanted to show you but I didn't have pictures ready. This is Mr. Guo where we get our udon dancong. He's in the Wudong village on Wudong mountain. The
Oh,
mountain
wow.
is around 1,300 meters high.
Thank you, sir.
But oh yeah, but the village is around like 700-800 meters and stuff. This guy is the first guy out of the village and go to promote Fenghuang Dancong to other
Oh.
regions.
Wow.
My mom met him in the 90s. And at that time, nobody knows what dancong is. Nobody drinks it, and it's just his tea. Nobody is interested in his tea. And at that time, they do authentic, old style, traditional dancehall brew, which is very strong, very
Oh,
strong
right.
too.
I remember a lot
And-
of people still do that when you go visiting them,
Oh, yeah.
right? When
And
we
they
first got to
say-
Guangdong.
They say if the tea is weak, it's bad for you. You have to drink strong tea
Yeah.
to protect your digestive system.
Strong as embrace for impact.
Oh, they're really
folks.
strong tea
Oh
drinkers.
boy.
And old classic process, old very like nowadays you don't see that much with the dancong. Every now and then you might see it's red. Fenghuang dancong liquor old times is red as red. Like
Wow.
imagine those kind of red. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's not like a tinge of red talking about this yellow with a red tinge kind of thing.
Right, right.
Yeah.
It's like Shupuar red, like red without the brown.
Yeah,
Wow.
so Mr. Guo, one of the early
Mr. Guo.
times. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Sounds like a
They
good
have-
one for.
They have stellar teas.
Wow. Yeah, that was 2 days ago's tea.
So this is from Udon village. Look down, you can barely see
The building in the upper
the
upper
building
left
that
there?
is slightly higher than us, like in the mid
Oh.
part of us.
Oh,
That's
just
the,
over our heads here.
Yeah, those are the
Oh, yeah.
lower village. Not even the bottom of the mountain. Not even the
It's
foot
not,
of the mountain.
right.
sorry.
So they're slightly up, but they're really misty. So this is tea loves this kind of weather. Absolutely.
Yes, and
loves
look
this
at
weather.
this is the morning when I wake up first thing, and I see all those fogs and stuff. And because again, previous day it rained.
Right. So somebody asked. I just want to go
Uh-huh.
back because somebody said,
Oh.
"Is this picture taken after being rescued?" I think it was this one. No, this one.
Yes.
This is the rescue.
Yeah.
These are the ladies they stumbled across who saved them, give them
Mm.
water and get
And
them
it was
safe.
their last day of blocking. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
if-
tomorrow, if it happened,
Yes,
no,
it was
not
so
meeting them.
quiet.
Wow, really beautiful, but a
Yeah.
little bit scary.
Mm.
So then JS says, wow, glad you made it out. Would boiling the water make the water safe to drink? So as she mentioned, I was a little confused about that too.
Yes.
Like here, if you're
It's,
camping, you can boil, you can get those camp filters, but there it's more related
Once
to...
it's boiled, it's okay because for us it's more taking out of that cold
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
That's why they said the water on the rock like leak through the rock under the sun. You
It'll
don't
warm, right?
Yeah, you don't drink those from the sheltered rocks or stuff.
Right. So
Mm.
that explains that a little bit. And Brandon says, hello, I'm on a short lunch break and can join for a few minutes. Drinking an Earl Grey that has jasmine and rose petals in it. Sounds awesome. Thanks for popping in, Brandon. We're getting lots of little pop-ins. That's really great. And of course, the recording will be there for you guys to check out later if you want to check out the rest of these cool pictures and travel stories. Cindy says, what a cool tea table. Very
Yes.
cool. I just love all the stuff, the whole setup's there. Like you can see the kettle behind him on his right. He's got that kettle with the little wand over it, that copper colored wand. So that, I'm going to guess, when his kettle gets low, it just automatically fill up and boil and get ready for him. I love these. I really want to get one of those. We got to get one next time we're carrying one of those massive contraptions home. I just love that.
The I think somewhere we were talking about which what kind where how do I phrase that question, like where do people drink the most tea kind of thing. Like when we do that by country, it's some Turkey I think or some other country. But if we do that by region, it's the Chaoshan area, it's where Fenghuang Dantong come from. How much the tea they drink is incredible. And they
strong.
drink all the time. Like a living room, what's the living room to us? We like in the West, probably we would put a sofa
And a coffee
table, or anything. The whole living room of them is tea table.
Centered on the tea table,
Yes,
right?
the conversation happens around tea. The all the activities
love
is
that.
around that. Yeah.
So JS
Next
says, what a cool, I would like, or he says, I'd love to try that tea, and how is it spelled? So I think that was the Fenhuang Dantong.
Yes.
So we'll put that down in the thing down below because we can't actually type here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Dantong. If you go on our website, you can find Fenhuang Dantong
Udon Dantong.
and Wudong Dantong. both. So where else anymore? The village in the mist looks magical. Yeah, the misty hills are really beautiful.
Oh yeah.
And time signature MMA, cool. Does fog like that influence the quality of the tea grown there? Absolutely.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and they have very positive influence.
They like that filtered light either through their other trees like bamboo and other jungle trees, and also mist. And the humidity that comes with it, that sort of topical outer humidity.
Yes.
And JS
Well
says,
drained and really humid.
an auto refilling and heating kettle, that sounds like heaven. Yes,
Yes.
it is. It is
That's
heaven.
why it's so
I'm telling
obsessed
you,
with
it
that.
is heaven.
I just
Oh,
want to show you this.
The river
day
road.
when I arrived, the whole road become the river,
Wow.
right? And if you look up a little bit on the wall that connects the road, those green thing are moss. Like in the south, moss is everywhere. When you
Right.
see wet, or rock or stuff, whenever I see those things, I'm always very careful because they mean slippery.
Oh, super slippery, yeah.
So when we go to like the park, like
In Gatineau
and-
Park or Algonquin Park.
yeah, even Algonquin, not to mention when the one in Arizona, the park we went to.
Oh,
but those
sure.
ones, I mean,
Bryce
all-
Canyon or Angel's Landing.
yeah,
or
those rocks, you
Zion.
can walk on it, and it's just so gritty.
Oh,
like
it's sandstone. It's just like sandpaper.
I know, like I was really shocked by that.
Oh,
like
yeah.
for me, whenever I see those, it's like, watch out, they're slippery. I'm just gonna fall anytime.
Right. Yeah, those places are so arid. The rock climbers love that, right?
Mm.
The closest we have would be like Vancouver. I've seen moss grow on the sidewalk there because
Right.
it's pretty wet as well.
Right.
Wow, really bad frame dropping. So right. More
Cindy
rain.
loves the living room being a tea.
No, it's a beautiful
Yeah,
image.
this one. Why I want to show this one is if we put us here, is you see it's pretty raining there, right? And on the corner, on the right side down here.
Yeah, the
right
little
corner,
the green
right
looking
down
leafy
corner.
stuff in the corner.
Yeah, those are freshly plucked tea. So you will say, oh, rainy days. How could they pluck tea? I thought tea can only pluck in the sunny days.
Right.
So that's something called, theoretical knowledge vis-a-vis real life.
Right.
There are tons of tea that are plucked in rain or stuff like
Sure.
that. It's just, as a farmer, so they don't want to waste their crops. And in certain varietals, they grow super fast. For example, and sometimes, the sayings could be misleading because there's a saying there that says rainy days you pluck 水仙. So people were like, like if you just come to the region and hear that, you might wonder, maybe like 水仙 are all plucked
It's
on
the
sunny
exception
day.
to the rule.
It's
kind of
not. It's not quite like that. It's just in that area, because 水仙 is a fast-growing, sprouting thing.
right.
If you don't pluck it, you miss the season. Then you miss the day, and it's too old to process into any tea.
thing.
So they still have to do that. As farmers, they don't want to waste their material.
Right.
But it doesn't mean all the 水仙 are plucked rainy days.
Right.
And even though we always say good teas are not plucked on rainy days or even overcast days, there are tons of tea that are plucked and processed in such weather because there's so many grades in terms of tea.
Right. And that's where having you and your mom is great because you can taste that and know, hey, this is one of the problems with this tea is the plucking time. It's wet or humid or
And I'm telling you, the tea from udon, even though it's a pluck on rainy days, it beats a lot of tea.
right. It's not a unidimensional factor. It goes with all the
Yeah,
other.
you really have to consider the whole thing. It's not just one factor, no.
So Cindy says, I was one of those who thought tea was only harvested on sunny days. I grew up on a cranberry farm and should have known better. Sometimes you have to harvest in the rain. Yes. Yeah,
Yes,
you got it.
Yes. I just like to point out something because sometimes the people, hear that and not saying overly textbook, but sometimes because those talks come out even with really tea people or people really work in tea industry when they talk about Chinese teas or stuff. They have they still think, for example, green tea, there's no oxidation. So they think if there's a green tea, when people make green tea, they must rush to the factory and do that ASAP or
Right.
stuff. There is a little difference between what we learned and what's
Right.
in real life.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's all so organic, and once you're in the field, it's all very real and organic, and there's situations. It's just you gotta do what you can. Oh, I love this picture.
Yeah, I think it's a great picture because I was talking about a big tree, small trees, and bushes. It might not be very clear, but I think this picture, as these bush, like tea plants shows, they have a main trunk, but you notice about like 30, 50 centimeters above the ground, they start to have branches.
Right,
They can
pretty
never
low,
have
right?
they can never have a like 1-2 meter super tall main trunk. It's just it's how this
Mm.
cultivar is. So that's what we call as a small tree
Mm.
kind of thing. And these are the Dantong tea tree. So yes, today when he first see, oh, those are poor.
Yeah, because there's no person there, right? So it's hard to see the reference, but then you tell me, oh yeah, they're really coming out low to the ground, really low to the ground. And those, yeah, the beautiful picture though, really thick trunk base,
Yes,
super. I really want to go there. That's got to be on our next tea trip.
it's beautiful.
Did you ask those big trees how old they are? From trivia yesterday. Yes, we politely asked. We didn't. They weren't shy about it. Sorry, didn't get it. Was that Densong picture with the elderly gentleman? So yellow, Densong, especially for non-export, is heavily smoked. I don't like that too much. Let's just see if we can find that picture. With the gentleman, was that the tea table? Here?
Yeah, I think so.
Ah,
Is that the one?
I think this is the picture.
Yeah, that's Dantong.
So that's Densong, but remember how they brew it there. What she was saying is that's done in the, what do you call that, Chaoshan style, aka
Chaoshan, yeah.
really strong.
That's
so-
not very strong.
It's not. That's
they
about
have-
right, right?
Like what, especially tea people, they have been handling outsiders like us for a while. They brew that very nicely, more like to the tea drinking. If you go to
Right.
somebody who is not a tea person, just a
To their home.
regular
Right.
regular local people, how they brew, especially older people, even young people, some of them don't even drink much tea. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, non-export is heavily smoked.
Yeah, that's sort of strange. Densong isn't
they're
really
not very
smoked.
heavily smoked. They do roasting several rounds, but it's not heavy. They don't have a smoke
And they don't typically
process.
pick up a smoky
Yeah,
flavor, right?
maybe just how we translate that, like could be roasted.
Could be roasting, yeah.
yeah.
Or maybe they've had a strange Densong that was smoky somehow. I'm not sure. You never know. This is beautiful. Is this Wudong? Are you on Wudong here? Or
Yeah, this is a Wudong village. You look
Beautiful.
down the ramp, that's all their tea bushes.
Are we, oh, cool.
Can you tell? It look like little tree.
Yeah, right. And
Right.
also, it's not so uniform,
Mm.
right? There's some diversity in there. So this is the kind of tea garden we love. We don't like those rows and rows. We like
Yeah.
those a little bit mixed up, a little bit beautiful. This looks like beautiful terroir.
So this picture, me, my mom, and Mr. Guo, we went to the
From
fun-
the picture we just re-showed, right, at the brewing table. Was that Mr.
Yes,
Guo?
that's him.
So that's Mr.
That's
Guo,
him.
okay.
So this is one of his oldest tree,
Wow.
a couple of 100 years old, very old
Wow.
tree, and you see it's really tall. Like we really look up
Oh
and
yeah, it's
apply.
more than 2x you guys.
And you not only you look at trees, like you look at people, it's not everyone is 6'2", right? Even though we're people, we could be a adult but 5'9", something like that. It's normal. Same with the tree. To look at the age, it's not just the taller the better, but you look at the whole look, the branches, the shapes, the everything. That's also help you. Besides, of course, the trunk size to help you look at the age of the tree. The interesting thing with this, that's the time I realized what is a local and outsider is. You look at their shoes. They just when we
I
go
just
to
looked
mountains.
at his feet and I know what's going on.
When we go to mountains, we need those outdoor
Hiking
shoes,
boots,
hiking boots,
good,
super.
good aggressive
Yeah.
tread to don't slip on the hill.
Yeah, and after raining, extra, careful. I keep oversteep this.
Right, extra careful. I see he's got sandals on.
Sandals.
But like bath slippers almost.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I remember Yan Wen-sing in Yunnan too.
Also, right?
No, barefoot.
Yes.
He went barefoot.
Yes.
Right into the jungle. Just intense.
His people is more barefoot.
Yeah,
They have
culture.
the barefoot culture.
Mm.
The little girl doesn't like shoes. I don't know if you noticed.
I remember that, yeah.
They try to convince her to wear shoes. If she wear for a bit, then
Kick them.
barefoot. Yeah.
Kick them off.
Mm.
So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that and found it was insightful. Sure was fun for me to do some virtual travel.
Yeah, it's
Definitely.
good to revisit those old times that you know.
Yeah, we were just at Wuyi in 2019, but maybe we can do Tongmu and Wudong would be amazing. It's really similar to our course in 2019, right? South and then up the belly, but you could do the belly several times and never go to the same place twice, right? So who knows? Let's see. Cindy says, is that tea farmer also the tea processor?
This particularly one, yes and no. Yes, as he used to be. Now he's retired. He has 3 sons, and he distributes his trees and farms to every son, and they all have different approaches. They participate in tea process, but they also have tea makers, a dedicated shifu who make the tea, and they're more into the tasting of quality thing, and with a regular like a check on the making. He himself now is not much into the making. He used to be, so now he's more of a quality like a checking.
Sure, it's really tea is really a craft in the sense of in the sense of the sort of master apprentice relationship and the experience building. So he's got all the skills to the point where he can.
One of the things we really like about this, not saying a model, but what he's doing is to have a more sustainable model of producing good teas.
Right.
You know, because a lot of, especially in the southern culture, is very family oriented. You probably heard that from some, Chinese southern companies and stuff are all family based. They have to be family. They don't like outsiders and stuff, which could be tricky because making tea is very hard, and it's a big issue nowadays that a lot of new generations, they don't make tea. They might drink tea, they don't make tea. Only the older ones who is 60, 70, are still making tea. Then what about 10, 20, 30 years later? Who is going to continue your family legacy? So to have this kind of...
And keep our cups full.
Yeah, have those introduce some new models and make it really sustainable.
Keep the industry alive, really.
Yeah,
right?
When we buy teas and stuff, we try to kind of using our buying power to convey this message as we like people. So we prefer, if everybody is about the same quality level, we prefer people who if their family has a young generation who is in tea production to continue this line, or they are open-minded to have other people participated in this. And we do have a lot of tea producers who are old, and young people are only selling, but not like they actually like 20, 30 years ago, they later, they will have problem with their tea production. They have farms, but they cannot find a good tea producer, and a good tea producer is very, very rare. As how we work with tea companies and industries, we even have one of our client problem is when it's the season, their shifu, the tea producer, he has to take care of his own tea. So in this company, there's nobody processing tea.
Right.
So anyway, those are lots of industry things. But
and we have covered some of that sort of issue. If you check out the 2018 CHAREN, we talk about that sort of aspect a little bit more in depth, and it's very interesting, and it is a problem because it's and we that's why we like tasting great tea, because it incentivizes. Yes, it's a little bit more expensive, but it incentivizes these people to put the time and effort into becoming this level of mastery. It can't be attained from a textbook alone. It cannot be attained from field, and you've got to be. It's a full experience. So tricky. So the Cindy says, very fun trip. Thank you so much. Igor says, thanks for the trip. And farmer with the 3 sons who are doing 3 different ways sound like the beginning of a parable or a fairy tale. Yeah, it does. I was thinking the same thing. It sounds like a perfect example of the 3 versions. By the way, this Kemen has kept going the whole episode. Yes, I love that tea for that. It's really. I assume you're gong fuing it. It sounds like if it's kept going, you gong fu it. It's very versatile too. You don't have to be shy. I think a lot of people who gong fu feel like if they put a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons into a travel mug or a teapot, that would be sort of sacrilegious or something. I don't think there's any need to feel that way. Try it out that way. It's also a really good tea. It stands up great in a gaiwan. It stands up great in a teapot. It's just wonderful. So there's a look at the leaf. The finished leaf, that's dialed in right there.
You can see those
you
really.
Can see that.
That's
deep,
what I mean by sturdy butt. Like they look like a gym
plump
rat.
and juicy.
gym
rat, right? Plump. They're like thick biceps.
Yeah. Anyway.
So
also lasts us the whole episode.
Yeah. You've been just brewing that like a champ. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the trip. We certainly enjoyed our time with you guys here again. It looks like it was a little choppy, probably from around the halfway mark the whole time, so sorry about that. Not much we can do. I think it's just the internet is busy today, I guess. I don't know, people are back to work. I'm not sure what caused that, but thank you for sticking it out with us. I hope it was enjoyable, and all the
you
fun
had fun
stuff
and
was.
your tea session is a little bit more dynamic with us non-stop talking.
Yeah, so don't miss tomorrow. It will be very dynamic. There's going to be lots of questions and answers with tea trivia. In fact, I've got to get to work on that very shortly and bring you guys a super episode full of questions. I'm thinking a rough format should be about 3 rounds of maybe 5 questions per round, but new formats for questions. We're going to have a lot of fun, and there's going to be some kind of a winner or prize or something. You'll all be winners at the end, but there's going to be something cool, and we'll figure that out. You're going to figure that out while I do the questions and the answers and all that. Yes, JS says same time tomorrow.
That's
yes,
right.
indeed. It's 12:30
PM.
Eastern tomorrow. I hope that works for everybody, but if not, you can always catch up later in the stream, but not for the prize. And Joseph says, thanks for the great live trip to China. See you all tomorrow. Yep, so see you guys tomorrow. And until next time, guys, which is tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern.
Have a nice day.
Keep steeping.